Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. We are officially in the middle of January, maybe towards the end by the time that you're listening to this podcast, and you've probably either thinking about going back to work, you've started back at work, you're going back to work soon, and you're probably starting to think about how on earth am I going to get my daily movement and my daily steps in when I'm back to routine, back to work, the kids will go back to school soon, and I'm juggling all the things. One of the questions that I get asked so often is, how do you hit 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day as a busy working woman and mum, especially too if you are someone as well too that has a desk job, so that you are sitting every day. So I want to share with you today all of my hacks and tips and how you can actually really get in those daily steps without having to find more time. Because I know often that as women, we make that mistake where we think, oh, well, I've got to have more time to do these things, and you don't have to find more time. And that's what today's podcast episode is going to be all about. So we're going to be talking all about walking for weight loss and how busy women can hit those 10K steps without finding more time. Something that's really important that we talk about is how our lives have changed dramatically over time. They truly have. With the introduction of the internet, of Google, of mobile phones, of devices, of iPads, of all of these things, our lives have drastically changed than they were 100 years ago. And it's really important that we acknowledge that. It is different and things have changed. So it is really a conscious effort that we need to make these days in order to get movement in. So a long time ago, it was easier because we were all active, we were moving more, whereas now a lot of the things that we do require us to sit in front of a screen, in front of a phone, in front of a computer, in front of a device. And that makes getting more daily movement in, and not even more daily movement, but just enough movement in our days, a lot harder and a lot more of a challenge. And because of this change in our environment and the way that we live, I really had to make a conscious effort to change up the way that I got my 8 to 10K steps in every single day. So I'm sharing all of my busy gal tips with you today just to make daily movement easier, because I think as well too that daily steps, daily movement, workouts, we're all a bit confused about where everything fits in. So my goal today is to really give you that clarity on the importance of your daily steps and your daily movement and how it all fits into your healthy eating and also into the fat loss process and how everything works. Now, I do have some good news for you. You actually only burn a very small amount of calories when you do your workout. We make the mistake that we think that, oh, well, I've gone and done 60 minutes in the Pilates class or at the gym or a walk and I've burned 600 calories. No, we actually only burn a small amount of calories when we do our workout. But here's the good news. We actually burn more calories during our daily activity and steps, our everyday movement. That is where we burn the most amount of calories. It's not in that small workout that you do. It's actually in what you do throughout the day, all day, every day. So that is actually some good news. So that's why it's really important to not just go, well, I've done my workouts, but also to make sure that you are getting your daily movement in. So it is a really important part of the fat loss puzzle. And to be honest, this is the part that so many of us miss. So we can do all the weight loss challenges, all the detox diets, but what happens after? You do the challenge, you do it for a set amount of time, and then what do you do after? So you need some simple tools that you can use in order to help you to maintain your weight loss that don't require like hours of cardio and extra workouts and all of these kind of things. So walking and daily movement is just one of those simple ways that when you have lost the weight, that you can actually maintain your weight loss after. And it is something that I make a conscious effort to do every single day now, is to get those 8 to 10K steps in, because, I mean, again, yes, obviously we are focused on our weight loss and how we look and how we want to feel and all those kind of things. But obviously there are so many other incredible benefits for you and your body, for how you age, just walking, just moving more, just being more physically active in your day and physically doing less sitting. And with regards to the sitting as well, that's another issue that we have as a society, is that our glutes, or like our bum muscles, are really weak because we spend a lot of time sitting. And that's why incorporating your weight training is also really important, because sitting has not just reduced our daily movement and our daily steps, it's also changed our body composition and those muscles and things like that, because we are just spending so much time sitting every single day. So I really want you to start to change the way that you look at your daily movement and your steps. Daily movement, it's not a workout. It's not necessarily a big long walk. It's movement. It's moving in your day. So how can you add more movement or steps into your day without actually finding more time? And especially if you are someone that works at a computer, works at a desk, it's something that you have to be, like I said, you really, really have to be conscious about it and bring it to the forefront of your mind so that you're actively trying to move more. And like I said, it is not a workout. It is not a 2-hour-long walk. It is moving more in your day. It's moving. It's getting those steps in. It's finding ways to move more. And I really want you to shift the way that you're looking at that, because I know often we go, oh, but I just don't have more time to fit in an hour workout, and I can't fit in more time. I'm so busy and I'm juggling work and kids and I just don't have the time. You don't have to find more time. You just have to work smart throughout your day and be consciously active and be consciously mindful of getting up off your chair and physically moving your body. So how do we do this? Okay, number one, and this is really important, you have to track your movement. Majority of us have no clue about how much we move every day. It's the truth. If you ask someone and they don't have like a fitness watch or they don't track their steps, and you say to them, how much movement do you think you get in a day? How many steps do you think that you do? They'll say, I don't know, like maybe 8, maybe like 9 or 10. I guarantee you that person's probably getting about 3. And if you don't track it, you don't know. So why guess? Why just be like, oh, well, I think I kind of move this much. And I sort of think, get yourself a watch. Like you can literally buy the cheapest watch or you can buy the most expensive watch. Just get yourself a Fitbit, step tracker, something. I think pretty sure you can also download like an app, which is free on your phone. Put it on your phone, track your steps and find out how much you actually move. And also too, track it across a week, because you will find there's probably days that you get more. There might be some days that you get less. There might be certain days that you get none at all, depending on your work commitments, your family commitments, what you have going on. So track it across a week and have a look. Like, is there an average? Is there like most days you're getting this much? And use that as your baseline data, as your information, and improve from there. But don't guess. Like, there's no point in guessing, because I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, the guess that you think of the amount of steps that you think that you get is incorrect. And to be honest, it was me too. I was like, I get maybe 6, 7. It's not that. I promise you, it is way less than what you think it is, because we think I'm so busy. So we think I'm really busy. Like I'm going from here to here and I've got work and I'm doing this and that. That does not equal movement. It just means you're busy. So please don't get the two mixed up and thinking, well, I'm busy, so that must mean I'm moving more, because the two don't correlate. So really track your steps, find out what you're dealing with, and then make some changes from there. Because if you track your steps and you're like, wow, I only get like 3,000 steps a day, then make yourself a little goal and say, okay, for the next week, I'm going to get 4,000 steps a day, and find those small ways to increase your steps. You don't have to go from 4,000 steps to 10,000 steps overnight. You slowly increase and you slowly change your habits over time. you slowly start getting up out of your chair, out of your work desk and moving more. And like I said, we've got to shift this mindset from it's not steps, it's not a walk, it's not a workout, it is movement. Movement equals steps, okay? And that gets your blood flowing, your body moving, you feel more flexible. Like I said, so many benefits. But like I said, you must track it. If you don't track it, you've got no idea how much you actually move in a day. Okay, tip number 2, and I did kind of mention this one a little bit in the start of the podcast, but you have to make a conscious effort to do it. And I was the same. I had to make a conscious effort to move. I couldn't just go about my day and just sit all day and not think about it. I had to look for moments in my day to move. So I had to make a conscious effort to be like, okay, I've tracked my steps for a week. They're really not great. I need to make a conscious effort to get that movement up every day. So it's at the forefront of my mind. It's not pushed at the back. It's like, okay, well, hang on a second. I've been sitting here for ages. I need to get up and move. So you really need to be more conscious of making an effort to get that movement in every single day. Otherwise, what happens? Like everything else, I'm busy and it just gets pushed at the end of the day. And then you're checking your steps and you're like, whoops, I only did 2,000 today. And it's like 10 o'clock at night. You have multiple opportunities throughout your day to get your movement in. So it's just bringing that thought to the forefront of your mind that I need to be a bit more conscious and a bit more effort of getting more movement in every single day. Okay. Like I said, wishing and hoping and thinking, yeah, I better do that. And we waste so much time literally thinking about doing something compared to the time it would actually take to take the action. So if you're thinking about it all the time and not actually doing it, just do it. The doing is what creates the magic. The waiting and the thinking about it just keeps us stuck. So don't just wish and hope. Start to make a conscious effort that, hey, you know what? As of today, I'm going to make a conscious effort to get more movement into my day. Tip number 3 of how we're going to get you to hit that 8 to 10K steps every single day. You need to be intentional and find pockets throughout your day. Now, I know you're listening to this and going, oh, yeah, but Jan, I just sit all day. And I guarantee you there is pockets in your day, tiny little windows of pockets. It might literally be a minute here and a minute here, but you have pockets where you can be intentional, and you can find pockets of movement or opportunities for movement throughout your day. Okay. And it's a mindset thing. It's like going from that, oh, but I've got no time. You don't have to find more time. You just have to find pockets. All you have to do is find little tiny windows, little tiny pockets of time that you can add some movement in. And no, I'm not talking about like working away at your computer desk and then doing 10 burpees on the floor. That is not what I'm talking about, because no one wants to do that in the office in front of everyone. So it's just about finding pockets. And when I talk about these pockets, I just mean these little moments. And like I said, when you start to become more conscious about moving more throughout your day, you actually will find that there is quite a lot of little pockets in your day of where you can throw in some movement. So some really simple ones that you can do. Park your car further away. If you have to catch the train, if you drive your car to work, whatever it is, park your car further away. And I'm not talking 3 kilometers away. I'm just saying park a bit further away. Park at the end of the car park instead of parking right at the front door. Park further away. Now, you probably think, oh yeah, but Jen, that's not going to get me 10K steps. You will be surprised at how making the most of all of these little opportunities and these little time pockets add up over a day. If you are consciously aware of them and consciously trying to use those pockets of time to move more and to get more steps in, you will be quite surprised as to how much those little bits across the day add up. And that's the thing as women, we make the mistake of like, oh, but I don't have time for an hour walk and I don't have time to do this. You don't need more time. You just have to find those pockets and those windows to work smarter, not harder. So like I said, parking further away, whether that's at work, whether that's the shops. I see all the time people that will literally sit in the car park at the shopping centre and you see their car looping around the car park for like 10 minutes just because they want to get a car park near the front door. Park further away and just walk. It's so good for you. And again, it's another simple way to get your steps in. Just park at the end of the car park. Park further away. A really simple one. Another one. And you might think this sounds silly, but again, you will be surprised at how quickly these little things add up. When you are making yourself a coffee in the morning, do 3 or 4 laps of the kitchen. Like that's it. That's a pocket. You're standing there. You've hit the button on the coffee machine. You've flicked the switch on the kettle and you're standing there. You're probably like maybe scrolling on your phone, doing like thinking about something else where you're just waiting for the kettle to boil. Do a couple of laps of the kitchen. Do it in those pockets. Okay. So park further away. Do some laps of the kitchen. Same if you're waiting for something to boil or something to cook or your toasted sandwich to cook. Do a couple of laps of the kitchen. It's about finding those pockets in your day to get more movement in. Another one, if you're sitting at your computer at work, set yourself a reminder to move. Get up and move every half an hour, every hour, whatever it is, whatever you can fit into your work schedule and the commitments and things that you have to do. Set an alarm to remind yourself as a prompt to get up. Every time you get up from your office desk, work, to get a coffee, to get some water, to go to the toilet, to go and speak to a colleague, to go to the photocopier machine, whatever it is, there's all those little pockets. Okay. So instead of going up, walking, making yourself a coffee and coming back, go, make yourself a coffee, do 2 laps of the office or whatever it is, walk down the stairs, up the stairs a few times, and then come back and sit down. If you need to go and speak to a colleague about something, go talk to that colleague and then just do a couple of laps of the office before you get back to your desk. There are so many pockets of time that you can find in your day.
If you're like me and you have a busy life and you want to start your day successfully, which for me is a high protein breakfast, I love using the Real Nourish products. Their pancake bake or their crumble are my favorite. Like no brainer. There's nothing that comes close to these products. You literally make them in minutes, and when they're cooked, they make 3 generous serves. So you eat it feeling like a queen, like you are full, your belly is satiated, and you are ready to start the day. And the last thing you're going to be doing is thinking about food for a few hours. That is for sure.
Another simple one is doing a lap of the office. Every time you need to go to the bathroom, like go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, and then do a lap or 2 of the office. Or like the bathroom and the toilets might be on the lower floor. Like instead of getting in the lift, like go up the stairs. Like the amount of people that I see that will always take the escalator, take the lift, take the stairs, walk the long way. Like I said, these things add up across the day and you'll be surprised at how fast they add up in order to get that movement in. And I hope you're realizing too by listening to these examples that none of them are an hour walk. None of them are a big, long workout at the gym. It's just about you being more conscious about the movement that you are making every single day. Another really great one, if you're a mum and you have kids sport, now whether that's sport, soccer, dancing, cricket, whatever the thing is, often there are times where you have to sit and wait for them. You have to sit and wait for them in your car. You have to sit and wait for them standing outside the building or on the oval. Use that as an opportunity to move. Just move. Do a couple of laps of the oval while you're waiting for your son that's doing soccer practice. If you're in gymnastics or dancing and you're just waiting or you're standing out the front scrolling, and go for a walk around the block. Like there's so many little missed opportunities that you can do every single day that you don't realize. And it's just because, like I said at the beginning, our lifestyles have changed. Life has changed. And so instead of going, oh, well, I'm just standing around here doing nothing, I'll just stand here and scroll mindlessly on my phone, I'll just walk around the block. I'll just do a lap of the oval. And like I said, being more intentional and finding those pockets is the key to you getting those steps in every day. And these are literally things that I do. I will do them every single day, but I have to make a conscious effort to make them happen. They don't just happen because I'm hoping and wishing that I'll move more. It's because I go, okay, I've gone to go to the bathroom, I'm going to do this. Okay, I've gone to make a coffee, I'm going to do this. And I consciously make an effort to use those pockets of time that I have every day because I'm just like you. I don't have more time. I can't find more time. I can't miraculously pull more time out of somewhere. So I have to make the most of the time that I have. And kind of this thing that happens after a while is that you just really notice it. Like it's like one of those things, it just becomes second nature for you to go to the bathroom and then do a lap of the office and then come and sit back down at your desk. Like it is just something that once you start doing it, you become aware of it, you become conscious of it, and you'll find it really easy to do. Tip number 4 of how we're going to get you moving more and getting those steps in every single day is to find hacks, find shortcuts, and use them. One thing I truly dislike about the weight loss and healthy eating industry, especially for women, is that hacks and shortcuts and time-saving things are looked down upon. It's like, well, you're not really doing it if you're not doing it really hard. These hacks and shortcuts were created to make our lives easier and to make getting exercise in easier. So, 2 of my favorite hacks and shortcuts for getting more movement in, for getting those steps in. Number 1 is a walking pad. I have one at home. They are great. They are so cheap. You can just buy them from Amazon. And I have to share with you one of our incredible Healthy Eating Hype Gal members. She had a massive weight loss goal. And one of her first big milestones is that she was at a weight that she could now use her walking pad that she had purchased at home. And that is massive. Like, what a huge goal, what a huge thing to work on. So she was too heavy to be able to use the walking pad. And now that she's lost so much weight that she can actually use her walking pad at home, she puts her favorite show on and she walks away. So get a walking pad. They are the best thing. And I love to now because, like, when I started, you could buy a walking pad. Like, the only piece of walking equipment that you could purchase for your home was an expensive treadmill with like all the digital electronics on the dash and all the things. But they were like thousands of dollars. Like, you couldn't buy a cheap treadmill. Whereas now these walking pads are cheap, they're affordable, they're easy to use, they're light, you can move them from room to room. So I've seen ones where, like I said, we've got our Hype Gal member that watches her favorite shows on the TV and she just walks away. That's fantastic. I've also seen them too where people have taken their walking pad and actually put them outside. So like plug them into the garage or the driveway and then watch their kids play and jump on the trampoline or put them in the backyard. Like, it's one of those things that's really easy and really versatile and just a great way to multitask. Who doesn't want to watch TV and get some steps in at the same time? You're doing 2 things at once. It's perfect, especially for us busy gals. The other favorite one that I love is the stationary bike. It's another great one to get some daily movement and steps in. And I love it because you're sitting. Okay, so if you're someone that perhaps has like a bigger weight loss goal, or you're someone that's like struggled like with movement, or you're not feeling as flexible, and sitting on the stationary bike is a really great one to start with. So start with the stationary bike and then move to the walking pad when you're feeling more comfortable with getting back into your daily exercise. The stationary bike is fantastic. It is fantastic because you can multitask. Okay, I have a stationary bike at home and I actually picked it up during COVID. I borrowed it from a family member. Thanks so much to that family member. And I just haven't returned it and I love it. Okay, it sits in my back room. It's a stationary bike. I can get on it in the morning when I'm short on time. I can get on it when I've crawled out of bed in my pajamas, jump on the stationary bike. I can do my emails. I can reply to messages. I can check my calendar for the day. I can do quite a few things on the stationary bike. And it's a really easy one. Like, the bike and the walking pad are just easy, simple ways to get more movement in, and use them. Like I said, these things were created to make it easier for us. So use them. And like I said, they're not expensive. Like, ask for one for a present, like get yourself one because they are a really great one, especially on those days where you're like, you know what? I have to sit all day. I'm in meetings, I'm in conferences. I'm not going to be able to move all day long. And then at least you can get up and you can use your bike, or you can use your walking pad at nighttime when you're watching your favorite Netflix show. Use these hacks and shortcuts. That's what they were designed for. And please don't ever feel guilty. Like I said, it's something in this industry that I really don't like, that was sort of made to feel guilty for using hacks and shortcuts. And we need them. Like, we're busy, ridiculously busy, and we need these hacks and shortcuts. So please access them and please use them. Number 5, don't go overboard. This is really important. You do not need to be getting 25,000 steps every single day. Okay. Now, I see this a lot, and I come across this a lot with the women in the membership, is that women will say, or message me on Instagram or send me an email and they say, but Jen, I'm doing like 15 to 25,000 steps every single day and the weight won't come off. I'm telling you that increasing your steps won't work if you don't focus on your nutrition. That's why the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership is created the way it is, because it focuses on your nutrition. You have to master what you eat first. And that's why, like, you might see overweight gym instructors or class instructors, or like I said, women that are doing like 25,000 steps and they're just literally exhausted and their feet are burning and their legs are hurting and nothing is changing. It's because if you don't focus on your nutrition first, doing all those steps, you're basically just wasting your time. Okay? Because if you're eating more and you're not in a calorie deficit, those steps won't do anything. So please make sure that if that is you and if you are in that situation, stop focusing on your steps and start focusing on what you're putting in your mouth, your nutrition. Make sure you're in a calorie deficit, because it's kind of like those steps are kind of like the icing on a cake. Like you have to get your cake right first. You can't put icing on a cake that's like half cooked and flat and not ready to eat. Your cake is your nutrition. You have to get your nutrition right. And then on top of that is your steps, your movement, your workouts. And it's just like the icing on the cake. It just fast tracks that fat burning and like the calorie burning process. That's all it does. Okay. So you need to get your nutrition right first. And that's why you don't need to go overboard on steps. I don't believe that there is any perfect set amount. Some people say, oh, it has to be 8K steps and it has to be 10K steps. I don't believe that. Believe that if one day you can only get in 7 steps, I think that's a really good effort with your busy lifestyle, but you should be actively moving every single day. And if you need help with your nutrition and your calorie deficit, that is exactly what I teach inside the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership. Within 7 days, I show women how to do a diet audit so they can work out exactly where they're going wrong, what's not working, and then they can create a achievable and doable calorie deficit from there so that they can finally get results. So that's exactly what I teach inside the membership. So if you're struggling with nutrition, you can head to my website and check that out. All right, tip number 6, do more on the days that you can do more. So if you know that you're in a meeting all day and there's no way, like back to back, and like, or you've got some big deadline at work and you know that you're not going to get many steps done on that day, average it out across the week. We have this mindset that it's like every single day has to look the certain same way if we're trying to be healthy. No, it doesn't. It can look different on different days, but you try and look at that average across your week. All right. So if you know that on a Wednesday, you've tracked your steps for a week and it looks like that Wednesday's not your best day and it's like 2,000 or 3,000 steps. On the other days, when you have more opportunities and more of those pockets, increase the steps on those days. Okay. And it will just average out across your week. So don't look at every day as like, oh, well, yesterday I got 8,000 steps and today I've only done 3, like I'm a failure, like I didn't do it. No, you didn't. Just average it out. Increase the steps on the days that you can. Do more on the days that you can. Like I said, if it's the kids' sport practice, and on those days, you can go for a walk around the oval. Up your steps on those days, and then it takes the pressure off on the days that you can't fit more movement in. So just do more on the days that you can and don't beat yourself up on the days that you can't. I really hope that those tips have really given you some things to start trying this week. Like I said, we way overcomplicate this wellness, healthy eating, and weight loss thing as women. It is simple if you let it to be simple. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be confusing. It doesn't have to take you hours and hours every single day, but you just have to start working smarter. And when it comes to getting in those steps and that daily movement, you have to be conscious about it. You have to be smarter about it. And you have to actively make that choice that you every single day are going to keep moving more. And it's a vicious cycle. It's like when we don't move and when we sit more, we don't want to move. But the more you move, the more you actually want to move. So the more that you can get into that healthy habit of getting those steps in, getting that movement. But like I said, start with tracking. You need to know what you're dealing with. How bad is it? How bad is your inactivity and you're sitting every single day? Or are you the other side where you're trying to do 20,000 steps every day and it's not doing anything? Focus on your food first, if that is you. And like I said, you can join the membership and I'll show you exactly how to do it. I simplify everything for you because I was in your position. Okay. I've tried all the things. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And doing a truckload of steps and not dealing with your food will get you nowhere. And you'll just get frustrated and stuck and you feel like, oh, what's the point? Why am I bothering? So really try and find some of these simple ways to find those pockets in your day to increase those steps and your daily movement. Thank you so much for joining me in today's podcast episode of The Healthy Her. Don't forget, if you listen to The Healthy Her every single week, hit the follow, hit the subscribe button, because it lets other women know that this podcast is full of useful information, helpful tools, and practical advice for busy women. So if you haven't already, hit follow and subscribe, and it will also let you know when new podcast episodes drop every single week so that you don't miss out on them. I'll see you all in our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing, because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @TheActiveBod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.